In this video, we're going to talk about how to cook pork spare ribs on a plain old Weber grill. This is our Weber grill. I wore out a couple of Weber grills over the past 15 years, so my wife bought me this deluxe model. It has a table and a propane lighter to start the charcoal, but basically it operates just like all the rest. Everybody pretty much knows that Weber grills are fantastic grills, but what you might not realize is that with the simple addition of a couple of pieces of aluminum foil, they can also function as an excellent smoker. We have two larger smokers, but when we just need to cook one rack of ribs, the Weber grill is what I prefer to use. It's quick to set up and easy to use. When smoking meat, we must use a lower temperature than grilling. To reduce the heat output of the charcoal, we adjust the air intake at the bottom of the grill so that just a little bit of air can get in. We want to put the charcoal on one side of the grill and the ribs on the other. Place a water pan under where the ribs will be. This is the crux of the whole operation. By placing two pieces of aluminum foil between the charcoal and the ribs, we keep the radiant heat from the charcoal from reaching the ribs. Place a smaller water pan directly over the charcoal. Weber has started making this handy sized pan that works perfectly. I don't know if they did it for smokers like us, but it works well. Place a hickory trunk directly on the charcoal to generate smoke. Weber has started including these ventilated metal charcoal containers with some grills, and they work perfectly for using the grill as a smoker. This is how to set up your grill for smoking using the charcoal containers. Put the sheets of aluminum foil in between the charcoal and where the ribs will be. Light the charcoal without using lighter fluid and fill the water pan. Next, let's head indoors to prep the spare ribs. Put water in both water pans. First, cut off any big hunks of fat. Don't worry about trying to get it all. We just want to get the big nasty hunks. Next, pull the membrane off the inside of the ribs. It's hard to get a hold of, and it helps to use a paper towel to grab it. This little piece on the flap is particularly hard. It always seems to fight back. Gotcha. Then we want to cut off the breastbone, leaving a nice rectangular slab of ribs. This is called the St. Louis cut, and most markets will sell it already trimmed for a little extra cash. That's the St. Louis cut on the top and rib tips on the bottom. Coat both sides of the ribs with a thin layer of mustard. It will help the rub to adhere, and your ribs will not taste like mustard. I promise. Now it's time to put on the rub. If you have a favorite rub, use it. My favorite rub is Magic Dust, which Mike Mills was kind enough to publish in his book, Peace, Love, and Barbecue. This is an excellent book, and if you're serious about barbecue, you probably ought to get it. Here's the recipe for it. Put a nice dusting of the rub on both sides of the ribs. We want to cook these ribs at about 250 to 270 degrees. The thermometer on the Weber grill is on the top, so it's a little cooler at the grate level than it is at the thermometer. Our thermometer says 300, and that's just fine. Time to put the ribs on. I got a little flame up on the hickory there, right under the water pan. That'll go out when we close the lid. Put the ribs right over the water pan on the bottom level. And let's cover it up and let it smoke. When it quits smoking, you need to add another chunk of hickory. This is particularly important early in the smoking process. Be sure and use dry wood. Dry wood makes clean smoke. Wet wood makes nasty smoke. Well, now we got a little time on our hands. Time for a beer or two. Every hour or so, you got to add a little charcoal. When you add charcoal, be sure and put some more hickory in and fill that water pan up. Got to give the smoke time to do its thing. Time to add some more charcoal. Dropped a piece of charcoal there. Here, I'll show you how to get it out. It's only been a couple hours, so these ribs are still pretty stiff. This is at 3.5 hours. Starting to look a little better. Alright, it's been 5 hours and still not quite done. Some folks may tell you that when the bones start to poke out a little bit like this, that it means they're done. That is not a reliable indicator. Depend on how floppy the ribs are. When they're done, they're floppy. Like this. These ribs are done. Total cook time today was 6 hours. Let's talk a little bit about cutting up ribs. If you try to cut them from the top, you're going to make a mess. Like that. Some folks try to cut them up with scissors. It works better, but it's still not right. You have to flip them over. Bone side up. That's the only way it works. That's more like it. Throw in a couple of your favorite sides and you have a meal literally fit for a king. Or even better, you and me. See y'all. Thanks for watching.